fuel efficient, just what I wanted.
It's green. It's green.
It is green, technically.
It's a hybrid. We started with a Prius.
Something shocking has been discovered about Count's Kustoms, and it is far worse than fans could have imagined. The shop, Count's Kustoms, which made Danny Coker and his team household names through counting cars, seemed flawless on screen. But behind the cameras, a discovery inside the business shook trust to its core, threatened everything the team had built, and caused a shutdown. What exactly was uncovered inside Count's Kustoms that caused such a crisis? And what led to the sudden end of counting cars? Join us as we uncover the terrifying discovery that brought the show to a complete halt. The terrifying discovery. When Counting Cars premiered in 2012 with 2 episodes as a spin-off of Pawn Stars, its success felt almost inevitable. The premise was straightforward and appealing. Locate rare or unusual vehicles, negotiate their purchase, and restore them into custom showpieces at Count's Kustoms in Las Vegas. However, something unexpected and shocking happened that changed the whole narrative of the show. It all started with a single check when Danny Coker and his team finally combed through the books. At first, it was numbers that didn't add up: $75,000 missing from the company accounts and an $18,000 IRS penalty for unpaid taxes. But the full scope of the betrayal that made the whole situation more terrifying only became clear as they dug deeper. Joseph Frontiera, the man behind the company's fund, had been mishandling funds. As if that wasn't enough, he had taken over the identities of the executives in the garage. Joseph had gone to a print shop and created signature stamps for Danny Coker and Kevin Mack. This gave him the power to sign checks, contracts, or even sell vehicles without consent. A signature stamp might seem harmless, but in the wrong hands, it's a weapon. With it, Joseph could drain accounts, sign agreements, or liquidate assets, effectively putting the entire company and the family legacy behind it at risk. Danny had always treated his crew like family, and Joseph had been entrusted with the finances, a position of complete authority, and he exploited it. The theft itself was staggering. The $75,000 missing from the books had been funneled into personal expenses, airline tickets, luxury vehicle deposits, and at least 1 Range Rover. Beyond the immediate financial loss, Joseph's failure to pay taxes triggered an additional $18,000 penalty from the IRS, compounding the damage. Every move he made seemed calculated, a slow erosion of the shop's stability. In response, Count's Kustoms fired Joseph from the show and also filed a civil lawsuit against him. They accused him of misappropriating company funds for personal gain. The filings detailed not only the diverted money, but the resulting tax complications, highlighting the widespread consequences of the misconduct. While Joseph publicly denied wrongdoing, the allegations painted a chilling picture of how quickly trust can be weaponized in a business setting. However, they later discovered a history of fraud and embezzlement with a previous employer in Florida. Joseph was therefore charged with felony theft. For fans of Counting Cars, the revelations were especially jarring. The shop had grown from a small, respected Las Vegas custom garage into a global brand, thanks largely to the show's success. With rapid expansion came new pressures and responsibilities, and Joseph's betrayal exposed a critical vulnerability. Internal financial oversight had failed at a moment when the stakes were higher than ever. Beyond the monetary loss, the incident shook the foundation of Count's Kustoms. For Danny, Kevin, and their team, the discovery was a wake-up call. The shop they had built over decades was suddenly vulnerable to a single reckless act by someone they had trusted implicitly. But what they uncovered in the books with Joseph was only the beginning, because the real problems were already emerging elsewhere. What really happened behind the scenes? In 2013, More cracks began to appear behind the glossy finish of Count's Kustoms' television persona. While counting cars showcased the team's precision and speed, whispers online suggested a different reality. Customers began posting reviews that didn't quite match the effortless efficiency seen on screen. Some noted delays stretched projects well beyond their estimated timelines. Others complained about unexpected costs or disagreements over pricing. On their own, these issues were hardly extraordinary. Custom car builds are notoriously unpredictable, with even small design changes or sourcing delays throwing off schedules. But the stakes were different for Count's Kustoms. Unlike a private shop, the business operated under the intense scrutiny of national television from the History Channel. Every delay and every complaint, no matter how little, became magnified. A single dissatisfied customer could spark a thread on forums that reached thousands of viewers, and any misstep could meet a social media debate. In a sense, the shop's reputation was under constant, invisible pressure, measured by the expectations set by a popular TV show. The complaints revealed patterns. Customers cited timelines that stretched from weeks into months, with parts arriving late or custom modifications taking longer than promised. Some questioned pricing transparency, noting that quotes sometimes shifted after unexpected labor or rare component costs arose. Others mentioned communication breakdowns, emails and calls going unanswered for days while the team focused on other high-profile projects. The situation drew broader attention in 2014 when a Las Vegas couple filed a civil lawsuit involving Count's Kustoms. According to the reported claims, the couple alleged the shop accepted roughly $50,000 for the restoration of a 1967 Ford Mustang but failed to complete the work within the expected time frame. They also claimed the vehicle's condition did not match what had been promised. This sparked public discussions and opinions on efficiency and customer service. Yet for viewers and fans, the behind-the-scenes friction was jarring. Television portrays building as linear, smooth processes with predictable outcomes. The reality is far messier. Custom car construction is part engineering, part artistry, and part logistics, all balanced against a ticking clock. Count's Kustoms team often juggled multiple high-stakes projects at once, sometimes under the weight of celebrity clients, racing deadlines, or unique one-off requests. Even the most skilled fabricators had to navigate compromises between design vision, practical limitations, and material availability. Despite these challenges, the team continued to produce spectacular results. From meticulously restored classic cars to outrageous, fully customized modern builds, Count's Kustoms earned its reputation for bold creativity and technical mastery. But the online complaints served as a reminder that behind every glossy reveal and camera-ready moment, there were struggles invisible to viewers. For a shop operating at the intersection of television fame and real-world business, even minor setbacks carry outsized consequences. Count's Kustoms had to balance spectacle with substance, meeting client expectations while managing the glare of public scrutiny. The gap between perception and reality, between what the camera captured and what actually happened in the garage, was narrower than anyone outside the team realized, but wide enough to generate controversy. However, the damage didn't stop there. What happened moved from the customers to affect even the people behind the shop. Casts under pressure. Behind the cameras, the Count's Kustoms team was quietly shifting. Scott Jones, the original shop manager, stepped away from the show to prioritize family life, leaving a managerial void that few could immediately fill. Scott had been a visible presence during the show's first 2 seasons. He was often seen handling customer interactions and project coordination. Suddenly, he disappeared from the screen. His departure was not dramatized within the series. and no major storyline explained the transition. However, some speculation arose that Scott was fired for embezzlement since he used to handle the accounting books and be on the lookout for profit. Rolly Sabo, the beloved detailer known for his meticulous work and on-screen charisma, also departed. He chose to pursue independent detailing ventures and travel opportunities. His exit followed season 6 and was framed publicly as a personal decision, not the result of any conflict or disciplinary action. Rolly's absence left a gap in both expertise and personality. Known for his sharp attention to detail and engaging presence, his reduced on-screen appearances were noticeable, particularly during complex car builds and restorations where his role had once been central. Yet for fans, the absence of familiar personalities created an immediate, palpable change. Kevin Mack, Danny Coker's longtime best friend and the backbone of the shop's daily operations, eventually withdrew from the cameras entirely. His focus shifted to protecting the integrity of the business after the shocking betrayal by former employee Joseph Frontiera came to light. Kevin's departure underscored the toll that Frontiera's theft had taken on the shop, not just financially, but on morale and trust. As these departures unfolded, the dynamic that audiences had come to associate with Count's Kustoms began to evolve. Fans watching closely sensed a subtle but undeniable shift in the shop's energy, even if the broader public only registered a smoother, more impersonal presentation. It just didn't seem like it used to be anymore. Other familiar faces also began appearing less frequently. Crew members who had once been constants on camera started rotating in and out, either due to personal choices, new career paths, or shifts in the shop's operational priorities. Each change, though minor in isolation, contributed to a growing sense that the core team that had driven the shop's charm and cohesion was slowly dissolving. The camaraderie and chemistry that had drawn viewers in now felt fragmented, leaving a noticeable gap in the on-screen narrative. As the team began to change, tensions inside the shop grew. Then something happened that shocked everyone, so serious it even upset the network. How could one incident turn years of trust and television success into a public headache? The scandal that shook the shop. Count's Kustoms found itself under a new kind of pressure. However, this pressure did not stay in the garage. It exploded online. A wave of fake CBD oil ads began circulating across social media using Danny Coker's name and image. These promotions falsely claimed he endorsed the products, despite having no connection to them. Fans were misled, some believing the claims, while others questioned the integrity of the brand. For a business built on trust and craftsmanship, the damage was immediate and real. This kind of scam has affected multiple public figures, but the impact on Count's Kustoms was amplified by its visibility. The shop wasn't just a business, it was a television brand. As confusion spread, the situation demanded attention, pulling focus away from builds and into reputation management. The misleading ad chipped away at the credibility Danny had spent years building. Behind the scenes, History Channel grew increasingly concerned about brand association. The History Channel, which had long showcased the workshop in its popular series Counting Cars, was not pleased. The network worried that repeated online controversies, paired with reports of internal turmoil at the shop, could reflect poorly on their programming. Networks carefully protect the image of their programming, and Counting Cars was no exception. With online scams circulating and internal tensions already present, the situation created a more controlled and cautious environment around the show. Expectations tightened, oversight increased, and every move carried more weight than before. For Danny, this marked a turning point. The challenge was no longer just about restoring cars, but about protecting a name a business, and a reputation under constant public scrutiny. The spotlight that once fueled success had become a source of pressure, forcing the shop to operate with heightened awareness of how quickly perception could shift. As the pressure kept building and the spotlight grew harsher, the question became impossible to ignore. How much longer could everything hold together? Production comes to a halt. For nearly a decade, Counting Cars was a television powerhouse. Fans tuned in religiously to watch Danny Coker and his team transform rusted shells into rolling masterpieces. Every episode highlighted the creativity, skill, and personality that made Counts Customs a standout in automotive reality TV. But in 2021, the show suddenly stopped. New episodes ceased airing, and the History Channel never issued a formal cancellation. Instead, the series quietly went dark, leaving viewers puzzled and the production effectively frozen. The abrupt halt left fans and industry insiders speculating about the reasons. When a long-running show ends without explanation, uncertainty spreads quickly. Many wondered if the pause was simply due to creative fatigue after 10 seasons, as even the most compelling projects can struggle to maintain fresh ideas. Others pointed to personnel changes. Key cast members had departed, and familiar faces on the shop floor were now missing from the screen. The chemistry that fans had grown to love was altered, and some argued that this affected the show's momentum. Legal and financial controversies added another layer of complexity. Previous disputes, including allegations of financial misconduct involving former employee Joseph Frontiera, had already cast a shadow over the shop. Critics suggested that reputational concerns may have influenced network decisions. Even without concrete confirmation, the combination of internal turmoil and negative publicity painted a picture of a production team under pressure, navigating both business and broadcast challenges. Online discussion intensified after the final season 10 episodes aired. Fans debated everything from creative direction to behind-the-scenes conflicts. Some speculated that customer complaints, ranging from project delays to pricing disputes, could have contributed to the slowdown. Others focused on the gradual evolution of Counts Customs itself. A shop that had grown from a local Las Vegas custom garage into a globally recognized brand was facing the growing pains of rapid expansion. Balancing high-profile builds, television production, and public perception had become increasingly difficult. Truly, all the speculations added up. However, despite the uncertainty, the show's legacy remained undeniable. Episodes continued to attract views on streaming platforms, highlighting the enduring appeal of the team's craftsmanship and personalities. However, the lack of new content created a sense of suspension for both viewers and employees. Without new episodes to produce, shop staff had to shift focus to daily operations and independent projects, all while navigating the complex web of public scrutiny and network expectations. By the end of 2021, it was clear that Counting Cars had entered an unplanned hiatus. The combination of internal challenges, legal and financial turbulence, and shifting cast dynamics brought production to a standstill. Fans were left waiting for answers. The network remained silent, and Counts Customs faced the delicate task of preserving its reputation amid growing speculation. The halt underscored a fundamental reality. Even the most successful reality series can be vulnerable to disruption when business, personality, and public perception collide. With everything that had unfolded, one question remained. What was really left of Counts Customs after it all? What happens next? Even though Counting Cars ended and Counts Vamped closed down in 2025, Counts Customs continues to thrive. Danny Coker remains at the helm, building custom cars and maintaining his personal collection, while longtime confidant Kevin Mack, manages day-to-day operations behind the scenes. Crew members like Ryan Evans and Horny Mike are still active, keeping the shop running and the legacy alive. Despite the show's absence, the core team remains intact, proving that the family and business outlasted the cameras. The narrative of the collapse of Counting Cars online never reflected the reality of Count's Kustoms. Business directories, local news outlets, and automotive publications confirm that Count's Kustoms continued operating in Las Vegas well into the mid-20s. The shop remained fully functional, serving local clients and enthusiasts from afar seeking high-quality restorations and custom builds. Even as production stopped, the workshop's operational capacity never wavered, demonstrating that the brand could withstand internal disputes, legal battles, and the pressures of reality television. Coker has also expanded the Count's brand beyond automotive work. He remains active with Count's 77, his regional live music project, and has pursued ventures in hospitality tied to the shop's identity. These moves show a deliberate strategy to diversify the brand and create revenue streams independent of television exposure. By doing so, he has ensured the Count's name continues to resonate with fans and the broader Las Vegas community, while reducing reliance on the unpredictable rhythms of a reality series. The end of Counting Cars reflects a strategic pivot rather than a collapse. Production demands can place immense pressure on any business, particularly when viewers expect constant innovation and personality-driven storytelling. By stepping back from television and ending Counting Cars, Coker freed the shop to focus on craftsmanship, customer service, and strategic growth. The team could prioritize quality and sustainability over deadlines and on-screen dramatics, preserving the reputation that had propelled Count's Kustoms to national prominence. The shop's endurance highlights a key lesson for reality-based businesses. Television exposure amplifies attention but does not determine viability. While shows can magnify disputes and create public scrutiny, a business built on strong operations, brand identity, and customer trust can survive independently. Count's Kustoms demonstrates that careful management and consistent service can sustain a brand long after the cameras stop rolling. Ultimately, while Counting Cars is over, Count's Kustoms continues to serve clients, maintain its high standards, and preserve the legacy of its founder. Danny Coker's ability to navigate legal challenges, cast changes, and network disputes has allowed the shop not just to survive, but to adapt and thrive. The closure of the television series marked the end of an era, but it did not mark the end of Count's Kustoms. Instead, the brand emerged stronger, proving that even without a national broadcast, true craftsmanship and a dedicated team can keep a business alive and relevant in the real world. Do you think stepping away from television and shutting down Counting Cars was actually the best decision for the future of Count's Kustoms? And after everything, can the team ever rebuild the same trust they once had? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.